history of something called SPEC, and this is what Helene has named as an acronym for Select It, Project It, Expect It, and Collect It, and I'll go through all those points in a minute. It's actually started with a gentleman called Jose Silva, and he wrote the book, The Silva Mind Control Method. Some people get freaked out with the words mind control, so you may recognize the Silva method. They took out mind control because it sounded kind of cultish. It's not actually someone controlling your mind, it's the idea that you're controlling your own mind. And it's a highly recommended book. I think you can pick it up for, like $5.95 at Barnes & Noble. So if you ever get a chance to read this book, I highly recommend it. And he talks about how to use your mind to visualize your goals and take action towards them. And one of the big secrets to doing visualization, which we'll talk about a little bit later, is to do it in the morning and to do it in the evening. But not at any time in the morning and not at any time in the evening. Right when you wake up. Do you know when you're lying in bed and you're kind of trying to wake up and you're in a half hazy, half sleepy, half awake state? That apparently is the best time to put out your goals, your visions, your dreams out to the universe. And the same thing when you're going to bed, when you're just starting to drift off into the sleep, and that's a good time to do that. I'll give you an example a bit later of the affirmation that I created using a little bit of all the different teachers that I've had over the years, and you can do it too. I did it every day last year, morning and night, and it actually came true. So this is who Helene Hansel is. She wrote the book, the Name It and Claim It game. And I have, Helene donated 3 copies for me to give out after this speech. So you have an opportunity to win one of her books. And the link to her website is on my website at contestqueen.com. But it's deltasciences.com. So if you don't win one, if you go to deltasciences.com, you can buy a copy of her book, and I think they're only $15. They're not expensive at all. So if you're not lucky enough to win one today, you can still get the book, and it's fairly inexpensive. I believe she still autographs them all too, if you ask her to. But the reason Helene began to learn about using her thought power to obtain the goals in her life, and she didn't just use them for contesting. I mean, we're talking about using it to win prizes here in this environment, but she used it for all aspects of her life. And she told me this great story of one day she was with Jose and they were setting up a seminar, and she needed to know how big to make sure the room was, how many chairs to have, etc. And she said to Jose, "How many people should we have at the seminar?" And he said, "Well, I don't know." And she said, "No, I need a number because I need to set this up." And he wouldn't give her an answer, and I guess she bugged him so much, he finally said, "Okay, we were going to have 83 people." He just picked a random number. He said, "We're going to have 83 people." So she focused on having 83 people at the seminar. So the day of the seminar, 82 people arrived and had been seated in the room. And he said, "Okay, let's start." And she said, "We can't start. There's only 82 people here." And he says, "What?" She said, "Well, you said there's going to be 83. There's going to be 83. We have to wait for the last person." Just as he finished that sentence, a gentleman comes running up, out of breath. "Am I late? Am I late? I'm here. I really want to be at the seminar." And she said, "Okay, now we can start." So she set her mind on having 83 people at the seminar, and sure enough, there was 83 people at the seminar. And she used to do the same thing with what she contested, and we're going to go into a little bit about that now. So she came up with WINeuvers for WISHcraft, and the reason she came out with the term WISHcraft is because she was so good at winning, people accused her of being a witch and said, that's witchcraft. And she said, no, it's not, it's wishcraft. And so that's how she came up with the title for her seminars. And spec was the term that she coined, and this is the actual how to set your goals and to win. So SPEC stands for Select It, Project It, Expect It, Collect It. And if you want to listen to, we're going over this quickly. If you want to listen to this and get more details on this, I don't know if all of you know, but I also have, like I said, an online radio show called With the Contest Queen. And if you go to my website and click on the link for the radio show, you can either download the podcast on your iPod, or you can go to blogtalkradio.com and find me, and all the shows are archived. And you can listen to the 2 shows that I've had Helene on my online radio show twice, and you can listen to Helene actually go through this in further detail on top of what we're going to learn today. So it's a good backup resource to help you learn spec. So let's go with Select It. Now this is really interesting, because it says, do you know what you really want? Don't be too quick with your answer, because the average person has so many wants, desires, wishes, they change daily with one's moods, and you're not able to give yourself the chance to generate enough energy for your end result if you vacillate. And this is important. How many times in your life have you received something, or a situation has come up, or you've received a gift, or you find yourself in a situation, and you realize it's exactly what you asked for, but it's not what you wanted. So this is why you need to really be specific in what you want. And I listen to I've read a lot of books and listened to a lot of other teachers. Jack Canfield is really good at this too. And he talks about being very specific. He'll do a seminar and someone will say, well, I want more money. And he'll reach into his pocket and throw a quarter at them. And they go, what's that? And he says, more money. And they go, well, I want more than that. And he said, well, you didn't say how much you wanted, and that's more money. And they said, well, he says, so what do you want the money for? And they say, well, I want to buy a house. And he says, okay, what kind of house? Well, so he gets them to draw it out. So he gets them to be very specific. I want a 4,500 square foot house with 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms in this part of this particular city, and it's going to have this many trees, and it's going to have this big a lot, and it's going to have, and so you can almost see it as a picture in your mind. You can almost walk through the house. It's kind of like watching television in your head. You can go through with a camera as if you're actually there, and that's how you project it, and so you can select it. So you've got to make it really specific. So you have to actually set a goal. So I actually set a goal of winning specific things, and I'll share that with you later. So, write out at the beginning of the year, what do you want to win this year? So last year, I'll give you my affirmation now, and you can understand where I came up with it. So I stated to the universe, I say, in the morning and at night, I say, I now choose to request and receive 100 plus, and I always add the plus, because I figure if the universe wants to give me more, I'm not going to stop. 100 plus prizes, including the 4 C's, a backyard makeover, and $5,000 plus cash, valued at $50,000 plus in 2010, this or something greater, thank you. Now I did almost an identical affirmation every day for last year. We won $68,000 in prizes. Do I think it works? Heck yeah. Does it hurt anybody? Heck no.